who's visiting from overseas, and we went down to Torquay. Even though the weather was not as flashy, we still had an amount of a load of fun. Hung out, ate some yummy food, had a lot of laughs, and just bonded, which was really, really nice after a very, very busy weekend, the previous weekend being our 28th ultimate 48-hour author retreat. So now that I'm recharged, it takes about a week afterwards to just come back to feeling normal. I thought, all right, so what are we going to talk about today? Well, today I thought let's go with why it does take so long for a small business to hit that first six figures, because I have mentored, and I still mentor a lot of brand new business owners who are looking to achieve that first milestone of the first six figures in the business. And certainly I was one of those people who had that initial goal, because I had never earned six figures in my life as an employed person. So it was like, oh my God, it was like the holy grail, right? And so, however, we set our goals as to how fast we want to get to that particular milestone. And oftentimes we feel, oh my God, it's not happening quick enough. Or, I thought this was going to happen in the next 3 to 6 months or the first 12 months. I mean, you keep seeing things on social media that say, earn six figures, working part-time hours, or someone's story sharing that they generated, they had a six-figure month, or how quickly they grew their business. And certainly this is not always the case. I think in the majority of situations it's not always the case. So if someone has that rapid growth from just starting out to reaching that first six-figure level. So let's talk about what most commonly happens, and why it happens, and why it takes so long to earn those first six figures in your business. Good morning, Costa and Bridget and Susa. So I listed out a few things. Like I sat down and I go, often, people hire a mentor, and certainly, I worked with my first mentor for 2.5 years, and took, I made $7,000 in my first 12 months, and thought I was going to make six figures in my first 6 months. So it's a variety of things now, looking back at the 10-year mark, as to why it took so much extra effort, energy to get the rocket off the ground, and start monetizing the business and progress from the red into the black in terms of financially actually making money from the business and being able to support yourself and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to talk about 10 different things. Some of these might be relevant to you, some of these might not be relevant to you. But if I look at a brand new business owner who is just starting out, maybe you are someone like me who just basically started out from scratch, from not knowing anyone, not knowing any other business owners, not having ever run a business before. Some of these things will be more I guess spoken to those people who are starting out, like basically employee, and now they're a business owner. Of course, there's those people who are already in business, but they may not, they may be transitioning to a completely different business. So we're going to talk about that as well. For those people, maybe some of these, the journey a little bit will be quicker because they have prior references for success of running businesses and, say, being successful, if that was the case. All right, so let's start with our top 10 list of what I have observed in myself and in those that I mentor. The biggest advice I can give you, you must stay patient, you must stay consistent, and you must keep investing in yourself to learn how to monetize it. So the very first point is mindset and beliefs about what is possible and what you're capable of. Okay, so mindset is often behind every single thing that we want to achieve. But when you start out fresh in a brand new business, or you've transitioned in a completely different niche, you don't have any references, points of reference for success, or you just don't know what you're capable of. Maybe you've been employed for 20 or 30 years and reliant on that sort of weekly or monthly paycheck, whatever it is. But now you have to build a new set of beliefs about what is possible, and certainly a new set of money beliefs about what you're capable and what you're worth. So what is your value behind what you bring to the table, and how do you communicate that? Because if you don't shake up your beliefs and work on overcoming, they say business is the biggest personal development journey you can go on, and I certainly agree with that. It challenges you in all sorts of different ways, and that's why they say it's not for the lighthearted, and also why the percentages also show that 9 out of 10 businesses who start will shut down in the first 12 months. And usually, no business ever goes into that positive bracket of finance being monetized. So you've got to be mindful of what's your backup plan, how do you cover core until your business actually is at a point that you can fully rely upon that, because it's either staying in a day job or a part-time job, where you pay your regular bills, your food, putting food on the table and all that kind of stuff, before you actually go full on and cut all ties and throw yourself in the deep end. That's not to say that's not a strategy some people work really well with. However, my risks profile is that I'm a medium risk taker. I'm not scared of investing in myself and other people to help me get to a solution, but I also need to know that core and what I need to take care of on a consistent basis in my daily life is also taken care of, and then I haven't put myself in a really, really scary situation. So your mindset and your beliefs about what is possible and what you're capable of is something you will have to develop. And this is why it takes so long to get to those first 6 figures, because actually in the first 6 to 12 months, most likely you're working on getting yourself out of your own way. Yeah, because there's so much shit that we get programmed with when we're children, about what we believe we deserve, and all that kind of stuff that we need to break through. And you can't break through that kind of stuff purely on your own. You actually do need help. And this is what I said. I had my first mentor for the first 2.5 years that I worked with, and most of the stuff that we worked together with was around my mindset and what I believed about things, and how what I thought I would be capable of, and how I need to present myself and all that kind of stuff. So that's a big one, and we'll come back to this one later as well. But the second one, my second point that I had here is that you have no reference for prior success. So when we have no reference for prior success, it's really hard to reproduce something. So everything that you're doing in your business are firsts, okay? And as a lot of you know that I say, my mom's always told me, every beginning is hard, yeah? And having a lot of firsts, growing this business takes, time to reach that routine and mastery level. And if you have no references for prior success, it's going to take you a lot longer, because you need to create those and start building your confidence and self-esteem from those references of success. When I meet people who have had businesses before, or have had some level of success and lots of those kind of references where they have delivered value to others and all that, I always say to them, look, your journey is going to be a lot easier and a lot faster, because you have references for success from the past, which means you know what it's like to feel that way, so you can reproduce that once again in your life. And so think about, have I got references for success in this particular area, or even other areas, so that I have some kind of like a measuring stick of what I can, what I would like to recreate again. It's a lot easier to go from something you've experienced before and recreating it again than just starting from absolute scratch. And this is those who do, like myself, who are starting or did start from completely scratch. We needed to build up the small wins along the way that built our confidence, self-esteem, and ultimately started to have those references of success. When you say, for example, signing up your first client is the hardest. It took me 5 months to sign up my first client because I just didn't know, you know, if what I was offering was of any value. I did not have any reference for feedback or testimonials and things like that. So once I did sign up that first client, though, it became a lot easier because then I knew what that feeling was like. Every time, I also increase my prices. Once I sell my first, say, price point of this particular product or service, whatever it is, I go, oh, yeah, yeah, of course, and then boom, 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 it all snowballs. So it does happen a lot slower in the beginning while you're collecting those. Number 3 is a lack of network. Okay, so your lack of network will equal lack of net worth, right? And not knowing any other business owner when I started out in business 10 years ago, that's exactly why it took so long to earn those first 6 figures, is because I needed to consistently get out there, meet people, talk to people. I mean, just by meeting people, I also learned, and I was surrounded by like-minded individuals who shared tips, secrets, ideas, gave me a hand, had conversations, started to hang out with people who were doing the same things I was doing, because being an employer, I only knew people in the optical industry. I did not know anyone else. So lack of network, it will be lack of net worth. Okay. So always focusing on developing more connections, collaborative, building collaborative relationships. That takes time, because relationships are not like about you see a person once and boom, all of a sudden you're best friends and you're going to refer to one another. You need to see people multiple times. And this is why I have always been a big fan and have always given out the recommendation to get out there and network twice a week and become a member of a couple of groups, so that you get known and you build that sort of almost your little mastermind, your little community around and support system. Because if you're on your own, like most solopreneurs are on their own, you're not going to have a ton of people in the beginning to talk about the things you're struggling with and the things you need help with and all that kind of stuff. But having and being part of networking groups that you regularly see builds the relationships, but also creates that support system. So lack of net worth equals lack of net worth, which is why it's so slow to get to those first 6 figures in your business. Number 4 point is lack of knowledge and skills. You must invest. So lack of knowledge and skills, and the answer is you must invest in mentors and courses to learn how to do stuff. The biggest thing that I used to hear from fresh new business owners who had not monetized their business as yet was, oh, I just need to get a few clients and then I'm going to invest in this course or this mentor to show me how to do this even better, right? And that's such a wrong way around of thinking about it. Because as I mentioned earlier in this call, I made $7,000 with 3 paying clients in the first 12 months of my business. How much did I invest back into myself and into mentors and courses? Was over $40,000. Now, I didn't have that spare cash in a bank account. Everything was on payment plans, and everything I earned in my day job, which I said earlier, stay in your day job if you need to up to a point that your core is covered and that your business has moved across to the black. You just got to work triple as hard. This is why it's so hard the first 3 years in a small business, because you're doing so many things, you're juggling so many balls. And so all the money I earned in my day job was going to pay off this $40,000, while my husband, whatever money he was earning, was putting food on the table and paying for house payments and all that kind of stuff, which left nothing, absolutely zero for luxuries or anything. We weren't even buying our son clothes. My mum was buying him clothes. So lack of knowledge and skills is a big thing why you're not going to get to your first 6 figures quick fast, is because you need to invest into others. And I think my most heaviest investing in mentors and programs, it was in my first 3 years. I think in the first 3 years it was around the $100,000 mark. When you add everything up, I went to investing the time, not just the money. And certainly I continue to invest nowadays. Whenever I have a problem I need to solve, I will find the expert. But certainly in the early days, we're cash poor, time rich. So therefore, do as much as possible. I didn't do any paid advertising, but I did a ton of networking because that didn't cost a lot of money, but it costed a lot of time and effort and building the relationships. But you know what? My business grew to multiple six figures purely just from networking in the first 3 to 4 years. Yeah. All right. So number 5 is lack of infrastructure and proven systems. Okay. So this is where, what do I stand for? How specifically do I help people get from A to B, whatever their goal is? And in order to build infrastructure and systems, you need to work with people, and working with people takes time. Because as you work with people, you start to refine your system and figure out what works, what doesn't work, trial and error, and all that kind of stuff, until you come to a point to go, you know what? This seems to have a really logical sequence of how I'm doing this for people, and you start documenting it on the. When a small business starts out, they don't have nothing. They just have their own self to present to help people. This is how I service them, but there's no systems, there's no signature program, and that lack of infrastructure and proven systems is the reason why it takes so long to get to the first six figures, because you do need to build on it as you are working with paying clients and refining and tweaking stuff until you can say, hey, presenting to the marketplace, this is my signature system, and this is how I get from people from it. So it takes time to tweak and adjust. I always say to people, it took me 3.5 years to get to my $1 million idea, which is Ultimate 48-Hour Author, right? But before that, I put out so many various coaching programs, license systems. I just tried out different online masterminds that I put out there, and none of those were my thing. But the only way that I could reach to my thing was to get to to keep testing, trialing, working with people. Okay, this works. This seems to have more interest than other things, and then progressing to the next level. So lack of infrastructure and proven systems is point number 5. I'll summarize this at the end. Number 6 is fear of criticism and doing things out of your comfort zone, right? The minute you start to shine and stand out and put yourself out there, guess what? You're going to be open to criticism. And criticism is actually a lot harder to take in the early days of business. Like, you feel like you get destroyed if someone says something about you. Well, I don't know about you guys, but for me, it was like, I'd have it on the back of my mind and feel really bad for like weeks, if not a month, until I could just snap out of it. But the more successful you become, the thicker skin that you grow. And so you don't actually you're not bothered by criticism, because you already have the references for success. So therefore, those that don't like you, whatever, they're going to criticize. That's just part of life. People are always going to gossip and talk about other people when they don't know them properly, or they haven't fully been involved, or whatever. You just don't see eye to eye. Yeah. But that fear of criticism in the early days, and doing things that are out of your comfort zone, that's gonna take you a lot more time to get through, and to back yourself than later on, because later on you kind of know, yep, I know this feeling, I've been there before, I know how to handle it, and you move on to the next step. So so you don't waste time. I think there's a lot of time that it's not wasted. I think everyone has to walk through these steps. Even when my husband joined the business, I was in business 2.5 years when he quit his day job to join it. He had to walk his own journey of those first 12 months of working on his mindset, getting out there, shifting from an employee mindset to a business owner mindset, just working out a routine in life that now, okay, so I'm not answering to anyone else, but I'm responsible for everything that happens to me and how I produce, and the results. So it's either I'll choose to work 16 hours a day, so I can make it, or there's basically nothing else that's going to come in. So I thought like he'd come into the business and like straight away I'll have this double the help and all that sort of stuff. But no, every single person needs to go through their own journey as they shift from an employee to entrepreneur or small business owner, whatever you want to call it. And that was our situation, and I felt like, oh my God, catch up, come on, catch up. But it had to, we needed to let it play out. Okay, next one is lack of digital footprint and content that takes time and consistency to action and build. So so when I say to people nowadays, I've got over 1,000 videos on my YouTube channel. I do this live. I've been doing this live for 5 years on Monday mornings. You know, I consistently do and release you know, written content, books every year. There's a book that comes out that I write. So to build content though, and to have that digital footprint takes time, right? It takes time to establish it, to put it out there, to have it then, you know, build up on top of it. And then when people Google your name, you come up everywhere, right? But this is why it's hard to make those first 6 figures, because you don't have a digital footprint. So if someone went stalking you, what are they going to find? Yeah. Because when I actually get contacted by someone who wants to work with me or collaborate with me or whatever, what I do first is look at their digital footprint. I go stalking. I go, what's their LinkedIn say? What's if I Google their name on the internet, what comes up? If I go on YouTube, what comes up? And I actually get to know them without needing to ever speak to them, so I can make up my own mind whether I want to progress in that relationship any further. So so start from today. You know, the best they say, when is the best time to start? Well, it was yesterday, but the best other time is today, so that in 10 years time you too can have 1,000 videos on YouTube and all that. All of these things that when I say this is what I have built and put in infrastructure, products, books, all that kind of stuff, it didn't happen overnight. It was all one project, one video recording, one thing at a time. It's just, it takes time, just like it takes time to pay off your house or other mortgages, whatever you have. To build a business, it takes time. And all of these things we're talking about today, you know, you exert so much more energy in the early days, so you can fast track it. But some things, you know, cannot be fast tracked because there's only so much you can do. You only have those 24 hours a day. That's why ultimately consistency and action at regular intervals over a long period of time will get you there, not the all or nothing approach. All or nothing approach gets you absolutely nowhere. All right, next one is lack of calls to action and being too shy to ask for the sale. Okay, so this is I see all of the time. You know, people get out there, they're new business owners that really want to help others and all that sort of stuff, and they introduce themselves, but then they let themselves down because they're actually too shy to say, hey, this is who I am, this is what I do, and hey, I've got this particular special at this time, or I'm running this event, come along to it. Having a call to action. I see time and time again missing from people's little pitches. When you get an opportunity to pitch, why wouldn't you have a call to action at the end of it? Being too shy to ask for the sale. I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to act. You know what I mean? I don't want to come across as a what is this, a sleazy car salesperson and all that kind of stuff. And the sales limiting beliefs are the thing that part of your mindset, which we spoke about at point number 1, are the things that are going to really hold you back. If you're not going to ask for the sale, you really need to work with someone how to get over the limiting beliefs around that. But why you're not going to get to the 6 figures super fast is because of lack of sales, calls to action, or being too shy to do it, and therefore missing out on opportunities, even though you're spending time and effort getting to places. But if you're not asking for the sale, what the hell is the point? All right. Next one is a lack of word of mouth referrals and known presence in the marketplace. So when you start doing awesome stuff for people, immediately, if they're having a great time with you, if they're getting results, they're going to start talking to others about you. And when you're new, guess what? You have none of that, because you probably have never worked with clients before. You've worked with a handful of clients. And so having that word of mouth, and by the way, word of mouth marketing is not a strategy for a business, but it certainly helps, and it's part of a business as it grows, and it's kind of that cherry on top, I like to call it. And it's really helpful in the early days though, because you can do a lot of things with word of mouth or asking for referrals from clients that you're working with already, so that you can develop it and get to at some point in a flow in your business. Certainly once you can invest in advertising for your business, you will be able to capture a lot more a newer audience, and then you have all your systems sorted out. So it just works. It's a different kind of strategy, but I know I did utilize word of mouth a lot in my early days, and looking for incentivizing, for referrals that were sent my way and all that kind of stuff. So, however, lack of word of mouth referrals and a known presence in the marketplace, again, takes time to build. You know, you're not going to just show up tomorrow and say, hey guys, I've got a new business. Great. You know, this is how I help people. You need to be there adding value. You need to be there starting to pop up and becoming the person. So when people think about, I need this problem solved, are they thinking of you? And if they're not thinking of you, you're either not communicating with them, you're not showing up online regularly, you're not sending emails regularly to your database, you're not doing all of those things that are building up the presence and the digital footprint, and ultimately asking your clients who you are working with for the word of mouth referrals. And the very last last one, which I touched on a little bit earlier, but waiting to earn money until you invest to in help to learn how to earn money. Okay, so yeah, so that's a big one, and that's what I've kind of come back to it a couple of times, is because waiting to earn money before you invest in help to learn how to earn money is not the right way around of thinking about how to progress in your business. So please invest in the help that you need to get, and it will be a heavier financial outlay. But you know, the biggest thing you need to make is make a commitment that those people that you also invest in to help you, you're going to listen to them, you're going to do what they say, you're going to follow their advice, and you're going to follow the recipe they have given you. Because a lot of people are out there who are investing, but then years later they end up with $100,000 debt or whatever it is, because they thought, I'll invest in this and it'll be my magic bullet, it'll solve all my problems. They thought that the other person would do the work for them. The only person that's responsible for your success and actually monetizing your business to the first six figures is you. Other people you invest in can show you strategies, systems, tasks you can do and complete, and how you can work and help you through your mindset, you know, limitations or wherever they are. But at the end of the day, you are going to have to do the work. You're going to have to get out there networking. You're going to have to ask for the sale. You're going to have to tweak and adjust how you do it when it doesn't work, so next time around it can work differently. And you can't give up, because every day courage is about getting up and going, you know what, I'm going to try once again. Some people are going to get to their six figures faster, and some people are going to get to their first six figures slower. It'll all depend, as I said, on a lot of these 10 things that I listed or spoke about today. You know, everyone's got different amount of talent, skills, knowledge, resources to be able to get there, but every single person has the journey available to them, should they step up and commit to it, and know that there's no you know, success is not about luck. It's actually about taking a sequence of logical steps that are right for you by learning through other people, and keep plugging away. If it doesn't work 100 times, you're going to try the 101th and 101th 101st time to do it. So let's recap, guys. We're 2 minutes off 9:30. I gotta go and do my other live in my secret group, as always and consistently. So we talked about, why does it take so long to earn your first six figures in your business? All right, I'm just going to summarize them very quickly. Mindset and beliefs about what is possible and what you are capable of. Number 2, no reference for prior success. So you're going to have a lot of firsts to begin with. Number 3 is lack of network that equals lack of net worth. Okay, number 4 was lack of knowledge and skills that you must invest in courses and mentors to gain. Number 5, lack of infrastructure and proven systems. You must work with people for a period of time to build on that and refine it. Fear of criticism is number 6, and doing things out of your comfort zone, which again, mindset, cracking through that. Number 7, lack of digital footprint and content that takes time and consistent action to build. Number 8, a lack of calls to action and being too shy to ask for the sale. Number 9, lack of word of mouth referrals and known presence in the marketplace. And the very last one is waiting to earn money until you invest in help to learn how to earn money. All right, I'll be able to actually, what I'm going to do is, since you guys are there, I can just copy this. It's in my notes on my computer. This is we're making all my notes now. I'll put it in the comments, and there's your 10 here that we spoke about today. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if there's more points that you would like to add on, but go out there and keep chipping away. It's not going to happen immediately. The foundations of any house take the longest to build, and then when the house like sprouts from the ground, it basically happens in a matter of days, if not a few weeks time, and then boom, you have a full house. And same thing, the rocket metaphor, it's all the same. So just don't think about your business being any different from building a house or getting a rocket off the ground. All right, have a wonderful week, guys, and go and smash it out.